Racetrack Grand Prix postgame show.
Welcome back to our studio just off the end zone, and the celebration continues on the field. Greg Gumbel along with Ahmad Rashad, Joe Gibbs, and Sam Weish. And in case you're wondering how they're feeling about it in Denver, the headline says, "Elway," as John Elway has led the Denver Broncos to a victory for the AFC. Shannon Sharp, one of John Elway's favorite receivers, is standing by with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Well, no one is more elated than Shannon Sharp. You've kind of been the spokesperson. You've kind of been outlandish at times. You've always had something to say. You tempered yourself the last 2 weeks as your little daughter comes in, gets a hug from daddy. That's rewarding in itself, and your son. You really tempered yourself. You don't have to now. Say what you want to say.
Mike asked us whether we got back from Pittsburgh. He said, where would you rather play? Would you play Green Bay at a neutral site, go to Kansas City, or go to Pittsburgh? And to a man, we said we'd rather play Green Bay at a neutral site. They disrespected us all week. Everybody disrespected us. They never faced a running game like what we had. They never faced a quarterback with the kind of composure. They never faced a coach that put a game plan in like Mike Shanahan. We did everything he asked us to do.
How did you manage to bite your tongue? It's very difficult for you.
You know, Mike said, hey, I understand that you're going to have to swallow some pride. I know you like to talk, Shannon. But just for these 2 weeks, it'll be well worth it. Silence is golden.
You were within a hair of leaving this organization and not being re-signed during the offseason. It finally came together. Now it culminates in this championship and this Super Bowl. How close were you to leaving?
It was very close. I didn't get signed until the day of training camp. And I'd like to thank Mike and Mr. Bolden for stepping up and getting me done. But Mike Shanahan, really, because he was the sole mastermind behind it, because everything goes through him. So I love this organization.
Sum up the feelings for the Sterling brothers, for the Sharp brothers. I know that your brother Sterling labored for a long, long time in this league and didn't get to taste the fruits.
Bruh, I told you, we're going to get a ring. It's yours. You've earned it. And all the Bronco fans, the team, the coaches, it's been a long time coming. I'm going to enjoy this one for a while. There's no telling when I'm coming in. I might be missing in action for about 3 days.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it over now to John Dockery.
Thank you, Jim Gray. I'm here with Steve Atwater, the Broncos safety. And Steve, what does this mean to you and to the city and the AFC and all of that?
I'll tell you what, it means so much to everyone that I can't even put it in words right now. There are so many players, our owners, our coaches put so much into it, and to finally achieve the goal that you set out to accomplish, I'll tell you what, there's no greater feeling than that. AFC, I'm proud we represent the AFC well, and we got that monkey off our back. Hopefully we can go on a string of victories here, get on the streak.
Steve, you're a big underdog coming in, yet you made some plays, and we're going to look at some of them now. Can you tell me some of the key plays in the game from your perspective?
Yeah, well, we threw some different things at Brett Favre. We gave him some different looks. We threw some blitzes at him, and I think that was the key. We got good pressure on him, and our guys covered good on the outside.
It shocked me. He never scrambled. It was part of the deal to contain him. Is that what you tried to do?
Most definitely, and I'm glad that he didn't get out and scramble, because we know once he gets out and scrambles, how dangerous he can be.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Greg.
Family, I love you all. Come home, baby.
Back to you, Greg Gumbel.
Steve Atwater, one of the happy Broncos, as well he should be. 14 years ago, Marcus Allen, a product of Lincoln High School here in San Diego, was the MVP, leading the Raiders to victory in the Super Bowl. And today, another Lincoln High School product, Terrell Davis, the MVP, as he leads the Denver Broncos to an upset, perhaps second only to the New York Jets victory in Super Bowl III. He leads them to an upset 31-24 over the Green Bay Packers. And to a man out there, they were all saying, what a great game. What a great game this was.
Listen, I've been lucky enough to be a part of a win in the Super Bowl and a loss. That excitement exceeds anything else you can do. This was clearly, how about this for a bold statement? That's the best Super Bowl ever played right there. But, both teams kept coming back, and the game was won on good plays. And that's how you want to win a Super Bowl.
All right, let's go back out to the field and over in the locker room. Will McDonough standing by with Mike Holmgren. Will.
Greg, thanks very much. Mike, as we were just talking to you, said it was like an NBA game that you guys just couldn't seem to reach out and grab the lead at the end.
Well, Will, we got behind early, 17-7, then battled back
And it was like some of our energy, we used so much energy coming back that like a basketball game, at the end, we just fell a little bit short, but you just have to give Denver all the credit in the world. Shoot, they played a fine football game. Terrell Davis was certainly deserving of the MVP award, and they had a good plan. You know what? In kind of a strange way, John Elway, I've always enjoyed him and liked him. I just wish he hadn't done it against me.
Yeah, well, you're thinking like an old quarterback now, but if you looked at the game for up close, you'd have to say their offensive line, number one, seemed to dominate the game, and number two, they had a lot of success in the game blitzing it from the other side of the ball.
Yeah, they really did. Those two things. And we were, it was about 50-50 on the blitzes. We got some because of the blitz, but they got us a couple of times. But their rushing surprised me just a little bit. I think when Gabe Wilkins got hurt early in the game, that affected us just a little bit. And but we had really played good running defense in the last 7 weeks, and Denver did a nice job.
Yeah, what do you say to your ball club when you come in after the game? It's so disappointing. You guys were such a heavy favorite. It's almost like the bottom had to fall out on them at the end of the game.
Well, that favorite stuff, we really, that didn't really enter into it because we understand how that works a little bit. We knew they'd be tough. I just told them I was proud of them. I mean, we've been through a lot together this season. And tonight I said sometime during that function we go to, I want all your wives and families, you're going to stand up with me and we're going to raise a glass to one another. And I'm proud of them. I mean, they've done a lot and played a whale of a game tonight. It just wasn't good enough.
Well, you guys have been terrific over the last 2 years, and we at NBC thank you for all the help you've given us. We'd like to throw it back to Greg. Thanks, Mike. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Will, thank you. We talked earlier in the pregame show about how important that offensive line would be to Terrell Davis and the Denver Broncos. They were all of that and then some. Standing by with Chris Collinsworth as one member of that offensive line, 12-year veteran Gary Zimmerman. Chris.
All right, Greg, thanks. And Gary, first of all, what a job this offensive line did. All the talk coming in about you didn't have anybody 300 pounds, Gilbert Brown, Reggie White. You guys were supposed to be intimidated out there. You wore them out.
Well, when you hear that for 2 weeks, it kind of builds a fire under you, and we used it to our advantage, and we had to sit quiet and bite our tongues for 2 weeks, and that was a hard thing to do. And the last 2 days we've been tired of having to suck up and tell them how good they are, and we're pretty good ourselves.
Did you come back in here at halftime and say, Terrell, you've got to come back out? He got no yards there in the second quarter, comes back in the second half, really fumbles the first carry of the second half, and yet you guys just really pounded the football.
When we came in at halftime, I think they didn't think Terrell's going to be able to go, so they said, it's a team group, team effort, and the other backs are going to have to run, but TD got well quick, so, he's the best, and he makes us all look good.
This was one of those games that, despite the fact that you guys had run the football so well all season long, they said the Green Bay Packers, the world champions, the big Gilbert Brown in there, you won't be able to run against this football team, and yet you got it done.
That's it. I mean, we sat on it for 2 weeks, like I said, and it's been brewing in our stomachs every night, and deep in our hearts, we knew we could do it, and we just had to wait till Sunday to prove it.
All right, well, Greg, you're talking to everybody's idol here that ever played the game of football. You got to sit out training camp, semi-retired, and came back and got the ring. Congratulations, Gary.
Thanks a lot.
Greg, back to you.
All right, Chris, and he ends up at the end of the day a happy camper as well. Joe, Ahmad, you guys know the importance of turnovers, and in the last 3 Super Bowls, the NFC had not turned the ball over at all. 3 times they turned the ball over today, and it cost them.
I thought the key was that Denver was able to overcome their turnovers. They didn't go in a hole when they made the turnovers. They came right back and continued to play.
Well, think about this. What if Terrell Davis had actually stayed healthy for the entire game? Now, I'll tell you, they only got 1 yard in that second quarter because he's out. I think that was something. Bill Cowher, he hit it right the nail on the head when we asked him the number 1 key, offensive line for Denver. The other thing that we talked about in our pregame show is a lot of different looks. Do not forget Denver's defense. A lot of different looks over there. I think they confused Green Bay at times, got good pressure on Favre. They did a heck of a job all the way around, the entire team.
Let me just follow about Terrell Davis. So just think about this guy. First he gets injured, a migraine headache, comes back the first series there in the second half, fumbles the ball, and becomes the MVP of Super Bowl 32.
Remember what Chris Collinsworth said in the pregame show? He is a tough guy who doesn't act tough. All he does is go out and play tough. What a postseason Terrell Davis had running the football. Outstanding in games against the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the Steelers, and then caps it off with a 157-yard MVP performance today as the Denver Broncos rule the National Football League. We'll take a timeout and come back to Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego with more of the post-game show in just a moment.
it's fair to say, but everybody seems to be behaving themselves, and the police are just kind of standing there ready to move in if they have to. But from what we've seen so far, nothing like that has been necessary.
Police looking pretty relaxed, actually, behind you, Julie. Everything seems to be well under control.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the word control. That might be kind of a loose term there. But I think people are behaving themselves. They're celebrating, but nothing too out of hand, at least from what we've seen. I do know, though, that there are a lot of people still coming into this area. I mean, this crowd is just growing by hundreds and dozens of people just kind of coming through all the time.
Now, I can imagine that they did call in police on their off days, Julie?
That's right. I think what they did is canceled a lot of vacations. They had a lot of officers on call, depending on how the game was going. And as we all know, the game doesn't get a heck of a lot more exciting than it was today. So I know that they were calling in a lot of extra officers.
Have an I-Omega zip.
We are back at Qualcomm Stadium, where the Denver Broncos have upset the Green Bay Packers 31-24 in Super Bowl 32. Now, Bill Romanowski had won 2 Super Bowls while playing for the San Francisco 49ers, and shortly after the game, he spoke with Will McDonough.
Why do you think you won the ball game?
We played our hearts out. We played our hearts out for one another. We knew going into this game we could win it. We knew we were the better team, but we sucked up to them all week. We told them how good they were for 2 straight weeks. I was so sick of telling them how good they were, I wanted to puke, but we did it. We played together. We played our hearts out. We're number 1 in the world.
It didn't seem at the beginning of the game as though they could handle your blitzing, and this gave their offense a lot of trouble.
We did. He threw a lot of bad balls, and we were coming from every direction. They also made a bunch of plays on us, but we just said we just got to keep sticking together. We keep making plays, keep flying around, and we'll win this game.
No matter how well you guys were opportunistic on defense, I thought your offensive line dominated the game, and they were the reason you won the ball game.
Oh, you're not a kid. As far as I'm concerned, they're the most valuable player in this game. Games are won in the trenches. Big games are. We won that game up front.
Bill, congratulations. Go have some fun.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to you, Greg.
A very happy Bill Romanowski along with Will McDonough. One of the things we talked about prior to this game, Joe, was whether or not they'd be able to handle that passing game of the Green Bay Packers. Freeman, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shimura, a touchdown pass. But all in all, a pretty good defensive stand by the Broncos.
I think it was. I think they mixed things up. And what Romanowski's talking about right here, I think, was one of the keys in the game. The favorite in a Super Bowl, and I've been in that position before, you got to live up to 2 weeks of hearing the other team and everybody talking about how great Denver was. How great Green Bay was. And I think what Romanowski is saying, we kept our mouth shut. That was a game plan. Coach said, look, let them brag, let them pump up the Packers. You know what I mean? I think Denver was saying, hey, we're pretty good ourselves. And I think that's what this team was saying. Pretty good game plan. But I also think it worked against, Green Bay. You're almost a 2-touchdown favorite, and you got the other team gets to hear about it all week long. It's tough to overcome that.
Yeah, another outstanding member of that defensive unit for the Denver Broncos, Alfred Williams. We'll take a timeout, and then we'll hear from him as the post-game report continues from San Diego in just a moment. In the closest Super Bowl game since the Giants defeated the Buffalo Bills 20-19 in Super Bowl 25. Here in San Diego, the Denver Broncos came up winners 31-24 over the Green Bay Packers. One member of that outstanding Broncos defense tonight, Alfred Williams, spoke with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. I'm here with Alfred Williams, his son Dominique. Alfred, congratulations to you. What did you guys do to stop Brett Favre today? Because he certainly wasn't on his game as many had expected and as he has been in the past.
I told you guys in that production meeting, I said we're going to get after the quarterback. You always have to start with the quarterback. Brett Favre is always the wild card. He's a great player, but you know what? If you try to neutralize him and stop their running game, man, any defense can win.
Well, that's what happened today. In fact, they converted 5 out of 5 third down conversions in the first half. and it looked as though they were giving you guys tremendous trouble after you had them wrapped up. But you're able to persevere. What happened at halftime to change the complexion of this game on defense?
You know what? Usually at our halftimes, man, it is so jacked up. Guys are so pumped, talking about that's not good enough. We got 30 more minutes. Today we came in the locker room. It was a calming effect around the whole locker room. There wasn't no screaming. It wasn't very much loud talking. And it was kind of weird. You know, it's like, okay, we just got to correct this, correct that, and go on and win the ball game. It was the first time, man, I'm telling you, it was weird.
Dick Enberg said today on the telecast, you have the best laugh and smile in the NFL. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really do.
All right, now let's send it back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, before we wrap things up down here, this was Mike Shanahan just a few moments ago in the Denver locker room. Give a listen.
I tell you, I've never been more proud of a group of guys. Once we started playoffs, we said, hey, it don't matter how we get there. We got a job to do. You guys stayed focused. You took it day by day, just like this week. No talking. Let your actions on the field do the talking. Never been more proud of a group of guys, and you got something that no one will ever be able to take away from you, and that's that ring, world champs. Congratulations.
You know, the entire AFC is cheering along with the Denver Broncos in that locker room. Can't think of a better way to wrap up a season, Ahmad.
You know what? The whole time, John Elway, sentimental favorite. The beauty about sports is it wasn't about sentiment. It's about John Elway being a great player and going out and winning a Super Bowl.
I'll say this. Hey, it was great for me finally to get to take AFC since I've been to TV and follow it all the way through, and they won a Super Bowl.
It was tremendous to be a part of a game that was won on good plays. No mistakes, nobody getting blamed. One good team beat another good team.
All right, that's it for now. For my colleagues Ahmad Rashad and Chris Collinsworth and Sam Weish and Joe Gibbs, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and it's my very great pleasure to toss it back up to Dick Enberg. Dick.
All right, Greg, and as we look at the final score once again, the underdog Broncos winning 31-24, and it's all the more meaningful when wife and family are there. Those are the same ingredients that a year ago watched their father break down crying in disappointment after the loss to Jacksonville that knocked them out of the playoffs. But tonight the tears are of joy. That's, well, you know well what that's all about.
Well, it was a great picture. John Elway has struggled for so long. He comes into this game. He has an offensive line. They're really the story of the game. That's why he got his Super Bowl.
You voted for the offensive line for the most valuable player.
They deserved it. I mean, Terrell Davis is special running back, but they dominated the line of scrimmage, running the football. They gave John Elway time to throw it, and most of all, he kept their defense on the sideline, kept them energized, so when they came out, they were able to attack, to blitz, and that was the difference in the game.
Are we exaggerating saying that this is the best running attack in the NFL? Is that what we've seen?
Oh, I mean, it was obvious. You take a look at the offensive line. You know what I really liked about those guys being berated for weeks, and basically the whole year. The smallest offensive line in the National Football League. Bowl.
They left out the toughest.
That's it. They are the toughest.
Well, they proved their point tonight, 31-24. Well, and so the end of the 1997 NFL season, and for NBC Sports, Super Bowl 32 is the end of our 32 years covering AFL, NFL action. You know, the NBC's been there from the start, from Joe Namath all the way to John Elway, from Kurt Gowdy to those of us that had the honor of calling this game tonight. And on behalf of all of our crew, all the men and women who have brought you the sights and sounds of NFL football here on NBC since 1960, we want to thank you for your effort, and for those of you who have watched, and we congratulate the Super Bowl champions. The underdogs have won. The 13 years of defeat by the AFC have been erased, at least for tonight, as Denver wins at 31-24. Don't wander away. More to come from San Diego. Greg Gumbel will be back after station identification. Denver Broncos are Super Bowl champs.
Welcome back to San Diego, everyone, the site of Super Bowl 32. A great Super Bowl won by the Denver Broncos over the Green Bay Packers, 31-24. Terrell Davis, the most valuable.
Run for your lives! The big women are angry! Save yourself while you still can!
Security!
No, I'm trying to warn you! They're already here! They're ready to take over! Who is this guy?
I don't know. He must be a Green Bay fan.
You fool! Listen to me! Before it's too late! No, they're going to take over!
How did it happen? It began so innocent. It was a day like any other.
Live picture from downtown Denver near 14th and Larimer, where everyone is filling the streets celebrating the Denver Broncos win. Finally, the Broncos are world champs in Super Bowl 32. Good evening. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Ward Lucas. I think these celebrations are going to be going on most of the night and probably for days and even weeks to come. What an exciting night for Denver.
That's right. The first of many T-shirts you're about to see.
Just off the line.
Hot off the presses from Golden Squeegee. Garts and Foley's are going to be open tonight selling these T-shirts. They've got 28,000 out already, they tell us.
The ink is
and
still
many
wet.
more to come. It still smells fresh. Trust us on that one.
Tomorrow morning's Denver Post headline is going to read, finally. The Rocky Mountain News headline is going to read, Yay. And we even have the first Wheaties box hot off the press.
That's
and I think
right.
the ink is probably still wet on this.
Big celebration.
The Super Bowl champions, 1997 Denver Broncos. We have won Super Bowl 32. What an exciting night
We want to tell you
for
a couple
Denver.
of things. Third Rock from the Sun will be shown after our special, obviously, Super Bowl win coverage. We want to get right to San Diego. And Adele Arakawa and Ed Sardella and probably Jim Beneman as well.
Take it away, folks.
Jim is here, and so is Adele, and Ed Sardella here. And the Denver Post is right. We can just tell you that finally is right. It's been a long time coming, dating back from that first one in 1978, and how sweet it is.
It certainly is, and of course the comment, the first one from John Elway was, we finally got it done, and I think that sums up a lot of sentiment here this evening. To kind of tell you where we are at the Hyatt, which is the team hotel here in La Jolla, and we are expecting the team to arrive as soon as it takes them to get from Qualcomm Stadium, and we're expecting thousands of fans to descend on this particular hotel. About 30 yards from where we're sitting is a large glassed-in banquet room, and that's where the players will gather for dinner later on this evening.
That's right. A couple of minutes ago, I talked to a couple of staff members here at the Hyatt in La Jolla. They said that the Broncos invited about 2,500 people, but they figured in case there was a Bronco victory, and we are celebrating that tonight, they figured that number would probably balloon to 5,000. Everybody needs a ticket to get in, but I think they've got some extra tickets just in case, for example, a player or a Pat Bolin walks in with an entourage and says, I want all these people to join me. So it will be bedlam here tonight.
I think so. And in just a few moments, we will be going to Ron Zappolo, who will be with the Broncos in the locker room. But right now, you might well imagine that parts of downtown Denver have become a party in the streets. Let's go to 9 News reporter Phil Keating right now, who is in Larimer Square. Phil?
Hi, Adele. It's turned into quite the celebration party here at Larimer Square. Much like it was after the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. Everyone's coming out here and congregating. And give us some smack so we can see the crowd. There's several hundred people have come down here. Obviously, everyone's very happy they're coming down here. We've actually seen some people taking off their clothes. They're that excited. Firecrackers have been set off. This was a ghost town during the game. But ever since the game ended, people are slowly but surely congregating down to Larimer Square. And boy, they like to be on TV down here. So everyone is celebrating pretty safely so far. There's a huge number of Denver police officers down here. People, what's the cables? We're about to lose this live shot here shortly. Everyone's going a little bit nuts. Why are you down here enjoying Larimer Square on this Sunday evening?
If this isn't a bona fide reason to party, I don't know what is.
And one girl told me earlier this is a dream come true for her. How about yourself?
Yes, it is. Elway finally got his ring. The whole town is happy. The whole state is happy.
Been a fun day for you, a memorable one for sure. Thank you very much. Well, I'm not sure what else we can show you from Larimer Square. Show this side group of people. But obviously, everyone's very happy. So that's it from Larimer Square right now. Everything's still going safe. A lot of police down here are going to try to keep it safe.
It's a little nerve-wracking to do a live shot from that kind of a crowd scene. Of course, we saw some of those during the Avalanche coverage when they won the Stanley Cup.
Bronco fans have been waiting much longer.
There's going to be a lot more of that tonight, I'm afraid.
We know that many of you are going to be calling us to find out about the victory parade for the Super Bowl champs. It is Tuesday from noon until 2 o'clock, and we can tell you a little bit about the parade route as well. It's going to begin at 17th and Wynkoop and travel east along 17th Street to Broadway and south on Broadway to 14th Avenue. It will end with a celebration rally at the City and County Building.
That's 2 o'clock on Tuesday.
Right.
Now, keep in mind that Denver police are blocking off that area around Larimer Square. Once again, there you see the Victory Parade Tuesday from noon to 2 o'clock in downtown Denver. Denver police have been very concerned, obviously, about crowds in the Larimer Square area. They did not want problems to break out there. there are a lot of police officers down there, and they're blocking the roads in and
on
out.
patrol.
So people can leave the area, but they can't get in. So if you're planning on going down there, think twice, because you'll probably end up in a big parking lot 5 miles away, the way police are handling the situation.
It'd be really difficult to get in and out of those areas anyway. We're going to toss it out now to 9 News reporter Paula Woodward, who is at 20th and Blake, which is near Coors Field. And Paula, I imagine the crowds are big there too.
They are huge. People keep coming down here. I-25 is closed. I-25 into this area is closed, as is Spear Boulevard. There are about 1,000 people here, and it's growing just by the minute. So far, it's a very safe and celebration. They're hoping that it does not become violent, and they're urging people not to come down here. Behind me is where the big crowd is. There are at least 400 Denver police officers in the area. There are sheriff's department people, and there are also mounted police. Very noisy, very loud, but very happy and very excited right now. There have been people drinking down here, but so far it's just really a very loud but nice celebration. Kim and Ward?
Okay, we hope it stays that way, Paula.
Yeah, we sure do.
Of concern, obviously, is that many of the bars began giving away free drinks beginning at 10 o'clock this morning, so there has been a lot of drinking downtown, and that certainly is a time to use additional caution if you're out and about tonight. Don't get involved in the kind of thing that
we want to go back to San Diego now, and 9 News reporter Todd Romero, who I know was at the game and may still be in the stadium area. Todd?
Not yet. They're dialing IFB still.
Todd, you are on the air.
Todd might not know he's on the air. I think he's ready. I think he's actually near the locker room area. We're going to take a commercial break and come right back and talk to Todd, hopefully.
Stay there.
Some days aren't worth remembering. And others you don't want to forget, which is why the Rocky Mountain News is offering a commemorative metal printing plate of our front page celebrating the big win. It's yours when you buy 6 months and get 6 months free. If you live here, you get it.
Winter in the Rockies. A country road paints a perfect...
themselves. We're certainly better off being up in the back of a pickup truck, unlike the mob scene about 10 minutes ago when we first came down live. But everyone's, here's a guy up here standing on the lights, obviously very, very happy. Let's talk to some fans. What do you say? Hey, what's your name? Steve. Steve? Why are you out here doing this? Why aren't you at home? Oh, I'll tell you, it was a good win for us. I just can't believe they did it. You watched the whole game down here at Lodo? You know, it's so loud, they can't even hear my questions. I know. We got one guy here saying repeat. We got the newspapers are hot off the presses. The Denver Post, finally. You know, you turn on the camera light, and the next thing you know, you've got a zillion people coming by you. Well, let's just give you about 10 seconds of enjoyment. Well, some people have speculated that the celebration if the Broncos won the Super Bowl would exceed the celebration of the Colorado Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup. So far, it's looking to be a little bit like that. Question police are obviously going to be concerned as we get later on into the night here if the crowd does indeed continue to grow. But for now, there's been a few people climbing on the lights, a few fireworks have been set off, but essentially everyone is seeming to be obeying the law at this point. Ward, back to the studio.
It's going to continue to be loud down there throughout the night, but there is a police presence. They're not real visible right now, but believe me, there are hundreds of police officers within just a few dozen yards of that celebration going on down there, and they are prepared, and they have been prepared for many, many days now to maintain control down there at Larimer
Enjoy
Square.
the celebration with us. We will give you pictures of the celebration, reaction from the locker room, and
of course,
better yet,
parade.
We're going to relive this incredible game because it was a well-fought game, and the Broncos really proved to the world that they were the best team.
Now, there will be a parade on Tuesday at noon to 2, and over the next couple of days, and tonight, of course, we're going to be giving you that
A lot more
parade route.
details
So
about that.
you'll have lots of chance to celebrate over the next few days. So.
That's right, and we have 9 News sports anchor Kevin Cork with us, and this is the best time to talk about this game and relive the incredible highlights, because it was just fantastic. Everybody, when John Elway said this whole team came to play, they played as a unit completely.
Absolutely.
I bet you've never covered a story like this in your time.
This is incredible. I mean, for those of us who've been around long enough to remember that first Super Bowl loss, and the second, and the third, and the fourth, this is as sweet as it gets, I can tell you that. We do have reaction from the Bronco locker room as Denver comes away with a dramatic and impressive 31-24 victory. I guess we don't have that just yet. Here we go.
And, I'm glad that our defensive coordinator put us, our defense, in a great position to win. I think it was an awesome game plan. Yeah, they did. They're a good football team. Bottom line is, we just had to hang. And we looked around to one another. I said, hey, it's over with. These guys are good too. These guys are getting paid. They're a great football team. But let's just hang together and play our hearts out and leave it on the field and make plays. And that's what we did. Okay. How satisfying is it for you to play? Awesome. I've had a lot of negative criticism, a lot of negative publicity over this season for the things I did. But hopefully it's put to rest. And I'm just going to go on. I'm going to keep playing the way I play. And, I just thank all the guys on my team for the support, my family, and for Denver, the support they gave me. Well, he shows tendencies of doing those kind of things. He's not always, he's not always making perfect throws. And, a lot of times you watch him on film and people can rattle him. And we saw that, and we knew if we could just keep the pressure on him, we could force him to throw some bad balls. And, we were fortunate that, we came up with the plays we did. But we also had chances to make some other big plays, to come up with some other interceptions, and we didn't do that. But bottom line, we did enough to win the game.
You might not be as healthy as you want to be, and I think that, realistically, you're only as good as, as your backups. If the guys that are backing up can't come in and give you consistent play or even the same level of play, is very, very, difficult for your team to maintain itself or to maintain a level of play that you need. Somebody gets hurt, it's an opportunity for somebody else to step in, and get the job done.
Seth, no wonder the NFL has grown so much. We come from Mexico. A great game. I know it's hard at this moment for you, but I think the fans got the best about it, no?
Well, there's been so many games, championship games over the years, where it's been so one-sided, so lopsided. I think the fans really, got their money's worth today. It was kind of a seesaw football game all day. We score, they score, they score, we score. And that's an exciting game, for the fans that are sitting back watching the game. It's not that exciting for us, as football players, because obviously we like to score and put our offense back on the floor, on the field, and let them continue to score. But today was a very exciting game, for football fans.
What happened today?
An exciting day for all football fans, maybe the best Super Bowl of all time when you consider how huge the Broncos were in terms of being an underdog. I mean, they were 12, sometimes 14-point underdogs. They come in, they beat the world champions at Jack Murphy Stadium. They exercise all the demons of the past, and in the process, they end a 13-game losing streak for the AFC. A great win for all of Colorado and all of the Rocky Mountain West. When we come back a little bit later here in this special broadcast, we'll have highlights. But for now, I'll send it back to Ward and Kim, and you guys will have more on the fun as the party continues for all of us.
What an exciting night for John Elway, too.
Oh, I'm so happy
After all of these years and all those Super Bowl losses, he finally brings the trophy home to Denver. We're number one.
Associated Press is reporting many people people are crying. Fans are crying because they feel the same emotions that the players are feeling at the same time.
I've been here for 21 years. I've been through 5 Super Bowls
and
now.
we all know what it feels like to lose.
It hurts, doesn't it? But this one feels good tonight, and it seems to make up for all those losses.
That's right. We're going to go back to Paula Woodward, who is at 20th and Blake near Coors Field, and she is monitoring the celebration.
You know, I think it shows that the AFC is a great football conference, and you know, it's just nice that we've been hearing it for a long time. What is it, 13 years that the AFC hasn't won a Super Bowl, so it's really nice to break that streak. Yeah, I found them. They were a little in awe with everybody pushing and shoving and everything out there, but they're really excited, and you know, it's great. That's one of the great things too, is that they're old enough to understand, and they got a chance to be here, so that's real exciting. You know, I really didn't. I slept great last night, and you know, we kicked off a couple hours later than we're used to, and plus, I've never had a tough time finding a hard time finding a place to warm up on our sideline, which we did today when we got out there. But you know, it's pretty good. I wasn't too nervous. I knew that, you know, we were going to just I was going to have to come in and do my job, and really felt pretty good about where we were. So, worked out great. The last huddle, I just said, hey, we need 7 points. We can't get by 3. We have to get 7. I was trying to round everybody up. I was afraid we were going to get a delay a game or something. I was just trying to get everybody in a huddle, and the last thing I said is, Tommy, make sure that ball gets to me, who's our center. So it was nice and firm, and got it in my hand, and that was it. Huh? Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of nice notes, and you know, I appreciate all the prayers and everything that I got because it was nice. It was hard for me to see it because I was in Denver a lot. So I mean, I didn't get involved in all that, but I understood what was going on, and it was special. It really that adds to the need. Huh? I'm not gonna touch that one. Lodo, I hope they're rocking and rolling down there. That's they deserve it. So after enjoying tonight, I'm really looking forward to getting home and celebrate with everybody in Colorado. I know it, and they've waited longer than that, but they deserve it. So yeah, I'll be right there with them. I was thinking we needed a touchdown, and the score was tied, and we were in field goal range, but I didn't want to leave it up to a field goal, and plus with Brett on the other side, we didn't want to give him a chance, and offensive line came through, did a great job. We ran the football, didn't have to throw it, which made it easy, and Terrell got it down there to the 1 and then walked in after that, so that was a big, big drive for us. You know, I don't know. I want to sit.
It's been fun to hear him talking about, and as he was talking about the celebration in Denver, you were seeing some of the celebrations.
There's a guy that won an MVP from San Diego, and there's a guy that finally broke through. You think they have a chance to get it?
Yes. My game ball goes to Terrell Davis, and we have to remember that he missed a quarter of football. I think that if you include that, he gained up a $157, but had he not missed a quarter, who knows what he would have been able to accomplish.
Well, my game ball goes to John Elway, because nobody has just persevered and has played with the class and the stature and the determination of number 7. It's true, even the old gunslingers in the West get beat sometimes, but the best of the gunslingers always come back. Oh, the stats will say 122 yards passing. How could he get a game ball? I tell you what, he gets it because he wins late.
Yeah, and everybody will say what a great game Terrell Davis had, the 3 rushing touchdowns, the Super Bowl record, and yet I think that very seldom will it be remembered that he missed a quarter of football in this game.
We'll be back with more on NFL Prime Time in just a moment. Stay with us here.
Job in the back end, you know, you see the hits by Steve Atwater.
What's up, baby? World champions. Not to mention Terrell Davis. You know, he's been carrying the team all year. He did a hell of a job today.
Talk about that first possession. Green Bay goes down the field, scores the 7 points. People probably going, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Then the defense stepped up from there, and the offense got you the lead.
Hey, it's a 60-minute game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just one series. You know, we knew they were going to come out with a lot of firepower. Very explosive team, but we hung together. We played great. Hey, we expect to see about 1.5 million at the parade whenever we get there, baby. Peace.
Cornerback Darian Gordon, unbelievable. Keith Burns, how are you doing? Congratulations.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, world champions, you guys went on the road, did it the tough way. 2 games on the road, you beat Jacksonville, and today the ultimate. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
Well, it really hasn't hit me yet. You know, I'm yelling for the guys. You know, like I say, it's been so hard the way we travel, but I wouldn't have wanted to travel no other way. You know, the guys hung in there. You know, when adversity hit, everybody pulled even closer together, so we hung in there and kept our eye on that ultimate prize, and that was to win the whole thing, and that's what we do today, so we could officially be called champ.
Defensively, they did a lot of good. You guys did a lot of good things. You confused Favre. He did get some completions, but talk about the game plan. Were you very confident going in? Because all week long, you guys looked very relaxed.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the way we treated it as a business trip. So I mean it wasn't too much hanging out. You know, a lot of guys it was their first time, you know, being to the Super Bowl, but at the same aspect, you know, everybody looked at it as we'd let our families enjoy the rest. You know, we could all do all the celebrating, which we about to do now. You know, so we took it as a business trip, and that's the approach that we took all week. You know, we stayed relaxed and just stay hung in there, try to get the ultimate prize, and that's what we did today.
Last time they're going nuts in Denver. You got anything to say to the city of Denver?
Oh yeah, I like to say, you know, thanks for hanging in there. For those who jumped off the ship, we gonna take all of you back on, but we hung in there. We did what we had to do to get the job done and bringing us home.
All right, congratulations, Keith. Linebacker Keith Burns, obviously a very happy Denver Bronco locker room. The defense was terrific today. That was the difference. They stepped up when they did to. They got the victory. Oh, hold on, we got Neil Smith here. Just join us, Neil. Congratulations. We're live back to Denver. Yep. Anything to say to the city?
We're bringing it home, baby. You deserve it. I think that I know it's about going crazy down there right now, and we had an overall effort today. You know, I think that everybody left everything they had on the field, and no one ever gave us a chance. And I think that that's the big reason why we kept our mouth shut the whole time. We gave them all the credit because they were all the world defending champion. But then, you know, that number 13 come up again. I hate that number 13 for some reason.
You left Kansas City to come to Denver, and obviously you couldn't have seen the future any better. And I don't know if you ever saw it, but talk about that feeling right now.
It was a great feeling. It was a great move. I don't think no one, if I had to do it, I had to do it all over again. And I think that I said it the best. When I signed here, I said, you know, the reason why I'm here is to get it over and get it to the Super Bowl and to win it. And anything that was less, it's not accepted. And you know, I think that we did a great job of getting it.
When you first came to Denver, I sat down and talked with you, and I asked you about John Elway and winning one for John. How's it feel now?
Well, we won one for John. I'm sure we all gonna enjoy this one, but like I could close a chapter of my book and say, hey, you know, I played with some great guys and Hall of Fame guys, you know, Marcus Allen, Joe Montana, and now John Elway, guys that can go down to being the best. And it's not something I can tell my kids for the rest of their life. And, you know, to close my chapter and saying that, hey, you know, we won a world champion with a great guy, and he well deserved it.
Neil, world champion, congratulations. Neil Smith, defensive end for the Denver Broncos. And also we got Rod Smith here.
Let me film you.
Oh, you're going to film me? Hey, talk about the offensive game plan. Terrell Davis was spectacular.
He scared me there for a minute. But TD's a trooper. You know, he's a soldier. He came back. He bounced back for us, man. And when we really needed him in the second half, came through big for us.
You guys had to listen to them for 2 weeks. It was very hard. I know Mike Shanahan said, hey, bite your tongues, don't say a word.
I mean, that's the thing when you have a veteran coach who's been through on both sides of the ball, you know, the losing the Super Bowl and winning. He prepared us well to handle all questions, everything that was going to be said in the paper. I mean, pretty much he set the whole world up. He is the ultimate con game, and everybody fell for it. And now, look what we got, a ring. And they can never take it away.
Last one for you. As the seconds tick down, describe the feeling.
I don't know, I was crying. We 12 months, man. I mean, they put this group of guys together for one purpose, and that's to win it all. We coming in second ain't gonna get it. And the guys in here play for each other. They put their hearts on the line. I mean, defense, offense, special teams, practice squad. Hey, I came from the practice squad. Those guys are just as valuable And, man, I'm telling you, everybody in Denver's celebrating. I just don't want them to tear up a whole bunch of stuff.
All right, Rod, congratulations. Rod Smith, a Super Bowl champion. Obviously, Kim and Ward, a very happy locker room. The Denver Broncos finally got it done. Their 5th trip.
Trying to change all that. Greeting Brett Favre before the game. Neil Smith in his first Super Bowl coming over from Kansas City. Reggie White looking for the repeat. Terrell Davis returning home for the bowl. And Dorsey Levens set to go for the Green Bay Packers. First quarter, Packers going, and it's 11. Got 11 yards, the Broncos 38, and they're still working it 3 plays later. Denver coming with the blitz. Favre reads it, cranks it out. Antonio Freeman kept the feet in. Touchdown for 22. The Packers jumping out 7-0 on the opening drive. Favre was 3 for 4 for 48 yards. The Broncos try to answer. It's Davis. Gets blocks and cuts to the left side. Big yardage to the Packer 14. So Denver answering right back. Same drive. Davis down low into the dog pile. His 8th straight game with a touchdown, including playoffs. And this is tied at 7 apiece. The Packers next possession coming right back. Favre looking to throw. The fake. Got a bit of a rush. And picked off. Tyrone Braxton with the pick on the bad throw. First NFC turnover in the Super Bowl since 1994. The Broncos' next drive. Davis gets tripped up. Then his head gets slammed. Induces a migraine. He had to leave the game. Same drive. First play of the second quarter now. And Elway on 3rd and goal. The great fake. Had a man open. Had the end zone open too. Elway's in. The Broncos are up. It's a 14-7 football game. Packers next possession. Favre looking to throw. Steve Atwater looking to tackle. Neil Smith, the recovery. The Broncos defense takes it away for the 2nd time in the game. And the Broncos take advantage. Jason Elam from 51. Right down the middle, plus yardage. 2nd longest in Super Bowl history. Broncos up 17-7. Atwater and Smith making it happen on the defense. The Pack trying to respond. Down 17-7, 3rd and 10. Favre in his own end zone. Drills it out. It's Mark Chmura, the tight end. Got hit hard, but he got 21 to the 26. Favre 25 and 42. You saw Davis leaving the game. You see Favre to Chmura for 6 yards. While Davis was gone, the Packers cut the lead to 17-14 going into halftime. First play of the 3rd quarter. Davis back in the game. He's recovered. Take that back. The Packers recovered because Davis fumbled. Packers get a field goal out of that, tied at 17. Later in the 3rd, 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Elway to Ed McCaffrey, up the seam. Got 36 and the Broncos first down. Same drive, 3rd and 6. Elway back to throw, scrambling. He wants a Super Bowl win. Diving for the first down to the 4-yard line. Elway selling out for the play. 2 plays later, it's 2nd and goal. Davis once again from a yard out. 30 carries, $157, and the Broncos leading 24-17. And Davis militaristic as usual. The Bronco bench fired up. The game appears to be theirs if they can hold Green Bay. And then this, Freeman up the field, fumbles the kick. McKyer recovers. Then he dances around like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire, but you didn't see it. Elway ecstatic. Elway and the Broncos trying to take advantage. Elway to throw, plenty of time. But Eugene Robinson makes the play for the free safety spot. Picks it up out of the end zone, gets out to the 14-yard line. So he gave up 6 on the exchange. Elway picked for a 7th time in the Super Bowl. Freeman trying to redeem himself. Favre looking back to him, drills the shot across the middle, 26 yards, and this play will end the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter, same drive, Favre to Freeman. Freeman, 9 catches in the game. That one's a touchdown, and it's tied at 24 apiece. Late 4th quarter, same score, Davis running. Gets the face mask call, and it'd be a 15-yard penalty. Holmgren didn't like it, but then he wasn't the guy who's had his head jerked around. Same drive, 2nd and 9. Elway to Howard Griffith. Made the great catch in the AFC title game. Makes this one here, and got a block from Ed McCaffrey. Huge block on Brian Williams. Knocked Griffith free. After a Bronco holding penalty, set it back to the 18. Davis gets it again. He nearly scored the play before. This time he's inside the 1 to the inch line. Favre looking on. He might get another shot. Davis, right through the middle. Nobody touched him. His 3rd rushing touchdown. It's a Super Bowl record. And the Broncos are up 31-24. Packers with another shot. $1:40 to go. The middle screen works well. It's Levens busting up the middle. Big yards into Bronco territory. And the Broncos now trying to hang on to this thing as the Packers threaten again. 2 plays later, Favre under pressure, flips it out. There's Levens, nice little swing pass, gets out of bounds, gets the first down and more yardage. 2nd and 6. Favre to Freeman, could have been caught. Dropped the football, got hit as it came. And the very next play, it's 3rd and 6. Favre looking to Brooks, Steve Atwater, punishing hit his own guy, in fact. Randy Hilliard took it hard. You see it again, down low. That's why the 7th grade coach was so particular about the parental permission slip. Next play, it's 4th and 6. Packers without a timeout, trying to convert, trying to stay in it. The ball is knocked down by John Mobley. The Broncos take over on downs. The Broncos take over as champions of the world. John Elway, finally a Super Bowl champion. Favre goes down in his attempt to repeat for the second time after again winning the MVP a 3rd straight time. But it's John Elway, the hero in San Diego. He's carried off, and the Lombardi Trophy finally goes to the AFC, finally goes to the Denver Broncos. Terrell Davis with the MVP award for his Super Bowl record-setting 3 touchdowns, and he did it in his hometown San Diego. In his 20 games, regular and postseason, he ran for more yards than anyone in NFL history. Denver is a winner for the first time in 5 Super Bowl tries, and the run of NFC Super Bowl wins has stopped at 13 for the NFC. You see how Denver finally did it to win the championship. The Broncos avoided becoming the first team to lose 5 Super Bowls by getting the rushing game going. In their 4 Super Bowl losses, Denver watched as they were outrushed by an average of 92 a game. It didn't happen in Super Bowl 32. The 179 on the ground was 84 yards better than the Packers. It also helped them keep the time possession victory. They had the ball 32 minutes and change, almost 5 minutes longer than Green Bay. And especially before I completely run out of breath, we want to get it to Dan Patrick. He and dozens more ESPN folks were right up close to the big tackle football game in San Diego. It's time now for reaction and observation.
Thank you, Kenny. Now, that's why they call it the Super Bowl. And just when I was starting to wonder if the AFC was ever going to win another Super Bowl in my lifetime, the Broncos, in surprising yet convincing fashion, dethroned the defending champions. And joining me, a couple of former NFC players thrilled with the AFC's victory. Joe Theismann, no longer referred to as the last NFC quarterback to lose a Super Bowl. And Sterling Sharp, forever known from now on as Shannon Sharp's older brother.
And that's fine.
You never played in a Super Bowl, but I cannot imagine if you would be any hyper than you were watching this football game with me.
I doubt it, very seriously.
Overall thoughts?
My thoughts are very simple. The NFC, for the first time in a long time, got out-hit, both offensively and defensively. The running game of Denver out-hit them. When they came up to make tackles, the Denver defense, high-impact tackles.
They were high-impact tackles, but also they continued to put a lot of pressure on Brett Favre. There wasn't once, maybe once in the game, that I thought Brett Favre really looked comfortable throwing the football. They just never let him set his feet, never gave him a chance to cut that rocket loose.
All right, plenty more thoughts and analysis coming up from these guys in a moment. In the previous 5 Super Bowls, the AFC was labeled double-digit underdogs, and the AFC did a great job living up to that reputation by losing all 5 by double digits. But in Super Bowl 32, the Broncos bucked the trend, coming in as double-digit underdogs, but leaving as 7-point champions. They were, of course, led by the exploits of MVP Terrell Davis, who says he knew the outcome of this game before this game started.
I replayed the game in my mind the entire week. That's all I did was replay the game in my head. I had no vision of us losing. All I can think about was me making plays, and that's how you have to think when you're playing a game like this. You have to go into a game thinking positive, and there was no doubt in our mind that we would win this game.
This is what we played for, and this is what I played for, and there's been a lot of things that have gone along with losing 3 Super Bowls and playing for 14 years and kind of being labeled, a guy that's never won never been on a winning Super Bowl team, and the NFC, AFC thing, you take that for a long, long time, and all those type things, I guess, that we've been answering questions for the last umpteen years is that makes it that much sweeter.
I'm very happy for John. That's why I came here. I said it long ago. I said I'm coming here for one simple reason. That's to win the World Championship. I meant what I said when I signed on with this ball club. It's an excellent ball club. And I know what I had within myself to give to this team as far as contributing. I know it was good enough for us to get us over the top.
And you'll be back in Denver next year?
I'm going to enjoy this moment now. I love Denver right now.
Congratulations, Neil. You deserve it.
I can't even believe this. This is unreal. This is unreal. Oh, my God.
The corners did a great job of coming up making plays. What's up, Ray?
What does this mean to you, Ray?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I can't even explain it. The best in the world. That's what it means. Right, man? Right? Say yeah.
We brought stuff from every direction, every side, up the middle, on the outside, and he was. I think he was confused out there. He threw a lot of bad balls, but he also threw a lot of good balls. But we hung and we played together, and we made the plays when we had to.
Terrell Davis, his postseason performance, this is how it ranks. Second best ever in the 4 games that he played. He rushed for 581 yards, only surpassed by John Riggins' season of 1982 when he rushed for 610 yards. Davis's 157 yards, the 5th best rushing performance in Super Bowl history. Sterling, the Raiders' motto is commitment to excellence. The Broncos' motto, at least on this Sunday, was commitment to the run.
That's all they did. Even when Green Bay came back, what you look at in the 4th quarter, Terrell Davis, commitment to the run. I mean, this play right here exemplified what their day was like. They call a holding play on number 84. It's just a great block of him dominating people. And it was a bad call, but what do? They line up, they run the exact same play at the exact same guy, and they almost get the exact same results. When you have that commitment to the run, and I talked about it and we talked about it all week, only the Indianapolis coach showed them that commitment to the run. You saw what happened in the Colt game. When you have that commitment to the run and you keep pounding them and you stay close, you want to talk about that.
You have been screaming for 3 hours.
Oh, man, and it gets better.
I know
it gets better.
And you know, it's that same commitment that Greg Robinson kept on the defensive side of the ball. You heard Bill Romanowski talk about it. We came at him outside. We came at him inside. They cut Steve Atwater loose on a number of occasions. Try to get him close. Here he comes, right up the outside. Brett Favre's backside, doesn't see him, fumble. Neil Smith winds up with the recovery. Okay, let's try it from a different angle. Let's bring Darian Gordon from the other side and let Steve Atwater make a great individual effort. I thought all day long the Denver Broncos just did a terrific job of making Brett Favre feel very, very uncomfortable. And congratulations in particular to all John Elway, but also Greg Robinson for staying with what you believe, cutting your guys loose all day.
Greg Robinson kind of lost in Fritz Schirmer's shadow throughout this week. Did a great job, and he threw everything at them as he said he was going to do. Mike Holmgren said after the game, we're down 17-7, just trying to play catch-up, tired my team out, and it showed in the second half.
I think it tired the guys out in the defensive line. Guys like Gilbert Brown, guys like Reggie White, guys like Santana Dotson. Gabe Wilkins got hurt early in the ballgame. There's Gilbert down on a knee. He's absolutely exhausted. The reason why he's down on a knee, because all they did was block him and cut him. We saw a shot later on in the game, Reggie White standing on the sidelines trying to get some air. I really felt like the running game just flat wore the front 4 out.
It did, but you know what the world champions did? They did not go away without a fight. Brett Favre and that offense came back when they had to. And when that ball got down the 5 or inside the 5, knowing this football team and the character that they have, Brett Favre was going to answer, and Mike Holmgren loves the tight end. He goes to his tight end on this drive several times. Great catch by Mark Shimura for 26 right here. He keeps going back to the tight end because all year long, the tight end has been very, very good to Mike Holmgren. This offense, if you can work the middle like the tight end does and do special things, Brett on a rollout right here. What he does, great catch again, outstanding throw by Brett Favre. Brought this football team back and gave them hope right before they have to realize that they could play with this team. But like Mike Holmgren said, that comeback took a lot out of his football team.
And what was surprising is Denver's enthusiasm and energy level really never waned throughout this entire game.
I thought they paced themselves real well. They never hit the peaks and the valleys. They never had to struggle and try and come back. They managed to keep pretty even keel all the way along.
The Denver Broncos looked exactly like the Green Bay Packers did last year. When New England made that run, it was almost like we're going to win this football game regardless of what this team does. And that's exactly how the Denver Broncos look.
I need you to rest your voice. We got a long night.
No, please. Let me keep going.
All right,
please.
you got to stop talking right now.
Okay.
We got plenty more of our Super Bowl coverage coming up as we take a closer look at this game in great detail. And John Elway, along for the ride. He never thought he would get to this day. He got his Super Bowl. Plenty more after this. All right, guys, look at aerial shots of San Diego. A lot of surprising folks in San Diego, the outcome of Super Bowl 32 as the Broncos are world champions. In John Elway's first season in the league, the Raiders won the Super Bowl by beating the Redskins 38-9. The year was 1984. The AFC had not won another Super Bowl until this past Sunday. John Elway has finally filled in his Hall of Fame resume. He has finally won the big one. And Joe, I think he did everything he had to do on Sunday, including getting those 37-year-old legs out in front of a couple of runs.
He really did, Dan. And the thing that impressed me so much about John is he was totally composed. He never looked rattled in this football game. He had everything under control, in particular when he wanted to try and pick up first downs. He did it in a lot of different ways. And you can see on this one, this is 3rd down and 6, keep in mind. Now, John Elway steps up from the pressure. He'll glance to the sideline ever so slightly and then sells out completely with his body. Watch this. This is a cartwheel. I want it all. John Elway wanted to take this game in his hands at that particular point. What he did, he went out and played the football game and let it come to him. In the past 3 Super Bowls, I felt like he had to force the issue. In this one, he just sat there, let it come to his lap, and did a great job with it.
You know what? I want to take you to an interesting situation here late in the game where the Denver Broncos have just gone up 24-17. This, I thought, was the key to the game because they had kicked the field goal earlier when Brett Favre had fumbled. So now what I want you to do is take a look at these 2 plays back to back. The key here is the fact that Antonio Freeman laid the ball on the ground. John Elway gets the ball back. What he does is go for the knockout punch. And when he threw an interception, and Eugene Robinson intercepted it. But I thought it was the key in the game because it showed that the Denver Broncos at that point were committed, there's that word again, to winning this football game.
Speaking of commitment to excellence, your brother, I know, had a big game. Terrell Davis obviously led the way with 157 yards. You had John Elway doing what he had to do to win. The offensive line, the defense did everything they did to win this game, but Shannon Sharpe stood out in your mind, right?
You know what? Throw the ball to 8-4. If you get it to 8-4, they get a win.
Shannon joins us now. Shannon, you know, your brother's pretty annoying to watch a football game with. I think you know that, don't you?
I mean, the game is so big. It's a huge game. You can't make a lot of mistakes.
Shannon, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Shannon, can you hear me?
I'm here, dude.
Fine, I'll talk for him, Dan. Let me talk for him, Dan.
Let's go. Can we get Sterling to talk to his brother? Shannon, are you there?
Say again now.
You know, if we can't talk,
yeah, why don't you just fill in your brother's comment?
You know what? I tell you what, this is exciting for us, and I know for him because all the talk that he was playing for me, and I told him to play this game for him. And I think the most important thing is that it's over with and it's done. And yes, I know he's excited and he's happy, but he cannot touch the tip of the iceberg as for me, because I know we still got work to do. But I got a whole lot of celebrating to do, and I don't drink, but I might.
But you're going to yell.
I'm going to yell.
You know, your brother did a terrific job, and I really felt the area that he improved all through the playoffs was his ability to block.
Dominate.
Bad call on the holding penalty.
Yes, it was.
But he also had an opportunity to have other guys around him make some plays, like Ed McCaffrey, for example. Here's a guy who comes up with a big play downfield. I think that's very, very important to opening up this football game. John Elway only had about 27 yards passing in the first half, winds up with a little over 100 yards, but he managed to get the ball down the field to Ed McCaffrey at crucial times. And if you can do that, it's very, very important because then it opens up the running game just a little bit more.
Elway had great patience, though. Unlike in the previous Super Bowls where he had to force something to happen, he didn't really go in with that mindset.
Well,
I think he realized what he had.
You know what I really think made the difference there is with the 2 turnovers. When you turn the ball over, you make a mistake, all of a sudden the score is 17-10. And if the score is at 17-10, you have to feel like you have to pump it up a little bit. You have to try and make something up. I was there in a Super Bowl. When you get behind, you have to try and make every throw perfect. For John Elway, when you're on a lead, you can just sort of cruise along, especially when you turn around, flip the ball back to Terrell, and let him knock out 6, 7, 8, 5, 9 yards. I think it's very important that Elway had the lead. It was very critical.
One quarterback stops talking, another quarterback will start talking. John Elway, after the victory, spoke with Andrea Kramer.
You've waited your whole career for this moment, and I get to ask you the obvious question, how does it feel?
You know what, I was always, the other Super Bowls I'd think about it. This time I was afraid to think about it, but, you know, it's better than I ever thought it would be. And you know, it's just, you know, over the years, all the questions about the AFC, NFC, and, you know, never being able to, if you don't win this game, will your career ever be complete? And I'm just thrilled to death that I don't ever have to answer that question again. Thank God to a great running back and a great offensive line.
What will you savor most, and at what point did that memory come?
When Brett's 4th down pass finally hit the ground, I mean, it was just, I couldn't believe it. And, you know, to be able to go out there and kneel down on it and just to really think about it, it's unbelievable.
You've said all along Terrell Davis is the difference in the offense, giving you the best offense you've ever had. What about when he went down and then when he came back and fumbled? How much concern was there?
Well, there was a lot of concern. And when he went down the first time, I asked him, I said, "You all right?" And he said he just got dinged a little bit. And then when I got to the sideline, he didn't come back in. I asked, he said he had a migraine. So we were just hoping that we could have him back because he is such a big part of this offense. But we got 2 guys in there, Von Hebron and Derek Lavelle, that came in and ran well too. But it was a real treat to have him come back because he's the one that made it happen.
I think everybody always felt you would pass your way to a title, not run your way to a title. What's all the running, the touchdown and diving for 3rd downs?
You know, I don't know. It just kind of, that's the way it turned out. They gave me some room to run today, and they were taking guys down and doubling guys downfield and really gave me some creases inside. And so they hadn't seen it on film for a while, so I think I kind of surprised them with it. But still able to move around just enough to get the first downs.
What's going to mean most for yourself, the fact that the Broncos finally have a win column in the Super Bowl, the AFC? What's going to really mean the most?
I think that's it. I think that, with the 4 Super Bowls that the organization has lost, this one win kind of erases all those, and it kind of puts the organization where it deserves, and that's up there with the elite organizations in the NFL. And plus, it means so much. I mean, I know how, for 15 years, those fans in Colorado and the Rocky Mountain States have been so good to us, and they've been there since 1960, and, we've disappointed them 4 times, but I guess this one makes it so much sweeter that I'm thrilled to death for them because they deserve it.
Super Bowl champion. Hope you like the sound of that.
I really do. Thank you.
John, how are you?
Thank you, Andrea. For years, Packer fans took great delight in watching a number 84 go through opposing defenses. But on Sunday, Packer fans had to worry about another number 84. Sterling Sharp's brother, Shannon Sharp, who has persevered. He still is there waiting to talk to us. And Shannon, congratulations, first of all. Overall thoughts, has it sunk in yet for you?
It's starting to sink in now. No one really gave us a chance. There's not a whole lot of people that stood behind us in our corner, and it was willing to stand up and say the Broncos got a very good chance here. But that didn't matter because the greatest trick Mike Shanahan ever proved was to make us think that we're the better team here. Even though we hadn't won a Super Bowl, we hadn't really done a whole lot this year, but just get to this ball game. And I said it earlier, we weren't satisfied just getting here. Anything less than winning this game was unacceptable.
Bruh, I gotta have it. Tell me the feeling that you have right now. I know how I'm feeling, and I know you can't come close to that feeling, but tell me the feeling you have right now. Don't give me organization, don't give me Denver persevering. Give me the way you feel right now.
Man, if I had 1,000 tongues, I couldn't tell you how pleased I am with this situation. I mean, I've never won anything as a team, and then I think, all the individual accolades, they're great, but I think it takes 53 guys. It takes 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, 11 guys on special teams playing together at one particular time in order to make this happen. I can go on for hours and hours on time about how I feel, but
please go ahead.
Go
on for hours and hours. We got time. Take up the entire program.
You know what? I really couldn't do it justice on how I really feel right now because I've never been in a situation like this, and I'm a part of the greatest championship that you can win. Not the World Series, yeah, all those are great. But when you talk about Super Bowl and you talk about a quarter of the world's population, 187 countries, that speaks for itself.
Well, I tell you where I am right now, and Joe just touched on it a little bit, and watching Terrell go in and out of the end zone, I'm proud of the fact of the way you blocked. I mean, you didn't have big yardage, you didn't catch the 9-10 passes, you didn't have the 100 yards, but you dominated on the line of scrimmage and opened up holes. And you and I have talked about the fact that Terrell comes first. And Terrell came today 3 times in the end zone. Can you talk about the way you blocked and what has set this up?
I was very pleased with that because, Gary Kubiak told me after the game, he said, Guy, we did everything we possibly could to try to get you the football, but the thing I'm most pleased with is the way you blocked in the running game. And, I would have loved to go on out and catch 10 passes, but that don't necessarily guarantee you a victory. So give me the 5 or 4 or whatever I caught, let Terrell get in the end zone, and we're world champs.
I got one last thing. Tell me where the party is tonight because I'm coming. I ain't going to sleep. Just let me know where the party is.
I ain't going to sleep either. The party is wherever the Broncos going to be at. I don't really
and
know
where's
yet.
the Broncos going to be is what I want to know.
We're going to be at the Hyatt La Jolla.
And that's where I'll be.
Be there. But if you're not, we can't fit you in.
Oh,
God.
That's great. I think you're going to be the only guy there because nobody else is watching, right?
That's
so,
good.
Yeah, you're going to be the only guy who shows up for the party.
I partied by myself before
yeah,
and had a great
I know.
time.
And that's by design. That is by design.
Guys, look at the Wheaties box. Look at the Wheaties box. This handsome fellow on the end right here, that be me.
Who are the other ones?
Did you get some of those linemen in there, Shannon?
Neil Smith, Steve Atwater, of course, John Elway, Terrell Davis, and yours truly, me.
Great job, man. I'm very proud of you and the Denver Broncos. Great job.
I think they need to get a bigger box to put those linemen up there. Those offensive
They'll have
linemen.
their own.
Yes, they
They'll
should.
have their
They were
own.
tremendous. Plenty more of our coverage of Super Bowl 32. Let's hope Sterling's voice holds up. Joe hadn't said much. He'll have plenty to say when we return.
My hero. Always has been, though.
Thanks.
Always
Well, you've always been my hero, too. Go ahead. Just doesn't matter that you're talking to all of Denver, but go ahead. You know what this is so neat is the fact that Denver, Colorado, all Colorado, the Rocky Mountain States, the fans that we've had there, the following that we've had, not only since I've been there, but since 1960, and the frustrations that we've had in other Super Bowls, this erases all that, and we can say that we're world champs. The Denver Broncos are world champs, and it makes it all worthwhile. It sure does.
Is it starting to sink in a little bit here as the minutes go by and you go through all this?
Not really, because you know what? I haven't had a chance to say that very much, and I got a chance to say that. And I was outside, and I came back in. They got world champs and the Broncos on the front of the stadium. And I tell you what, that's when it hit home.
Have you ever had in your life, I mean, obviously when you get married and you have kids, it's a wonderful, great feeling, but professionally, this feeling must be something you've never felt, and not anything close to it.
You're right. You know, other than my wife and those 4 kids, there's nothing that compares to this. And I tell you what, it's something that we've worked hard for 15 years. That's a long time. There's a lot of hits and, a lot of days in the weight room, and a lot of ups and downs, a lot of questions whether we're ever going to. The AFC's not any good, NFC's a power, and all these type things. Class of '83's never won one. You add all those things up, and it makes this much that much sweeter.
Does it make it sweeter? Not only you got your arm around your wife, but the fact that you won a championship in what might be the best Super Bowl ever played from a competitive, exciting standpoint. 2 great teams, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. They went toe-to-toe, and the 2 touchdown underdog gutted it out and found a way to win.
And that's key. And you know what? I was thinking that. When the game was over, I said, boy, that was a great game. I'm sure glad it's over, and I get a chance to kneel down on it. But
I kept thinking that even if we lose, what a great game this has been. I mean, I was thinking about rehearsing what I could say to John.
I was thinking it was great too, but it wouldn't have been as great.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We'd already been.
We've been home. Yeah,
we'd have been committing Harry Carey.
When Mobley made that 4th down play and the ball bounced to the turf, and they're showing the replays.
Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. When that thing hit the ground, I finally looked in the air and I said, "We're world champs." And I tell you what, yeah, thank God is right, because that was unbelievable. And
it was a God thing. This whole
year has been great. We've been blessed the whole year, and it's just. I'm so happy for everybody. I really am.
There've been so many great.
Did I tell you I was happy for you too?
Yeah, you did. I'm happy for you too. You just keep talking here for a minute. The great thing about this was a team victory. From the offensive line, I didn't see Reggie White all day. From your running back who just put on a performance for the ages, to the defense that rose to the occasion when they had to. This was one that everybody played a part in.
Unbelievable. All 46 guys, which is the reason why we're here. We're a team. We play special teams, defense, and offense. The offensive line really took it a challenge, as them talking about being undersized and the lightest offensive line in the league, and they really went out. They dominated the line of scrimmage against a team that's supposed to be real physical up front, and this NFC AFC, that NFC is more more physical, went right out the window tonight. Yeah.
Does it make it more special at all too that this was a year things didn't go perfectly? There were some ups and downs. You started great, you had a little bit of a lull, there was some problems, yet after that San Francisco game, somehow, I don't know what happened, this team came together and just took off.
And there was a lot of having to live down what happened last year. I mean, because of us losing to Jacksonville in that first round, we're not going to live up to expectations till we either beat them or won in that first round of the playoffs, because we hadn't done it hadn't won a playoff game for a long time. So this whole year was geared for the playoffs, and we got to the playoffs, we were playing our best football.
Was there a time in the last 5, 6, 7 years when you thought to yourself, I know I'm going to have a Hall of Fame kind of career, but I'm never going to get a chance to win a championship?
I really, when Mike came back, I said, he's an aggressive guy. Mr. Bowling gave him a green light to do everything he could to get the players in here. And, with free agency, when free agent came, it allowed the teams to get the players in that we needed. And Mike is an aggressive guy, as you know. And when he came back, I said, he's going to give me one last shot. And he sure the heck did.
I don't know if you saw this, but we're watching at the end, we're watching on TV, they make you watch at the very end. And I'll be real honest with you. When they started showing the replays of after the 4th down pass was incomplete, and I watched you jumping up and down, I got a little, just from someone who lives in Denver, number one, because it's so great for the people of the Rocky Mountains, because the Broncos are and always have been the team. But, I mean, your story, I'm not especially close to you, but I mean, when I saw you, how happy you were, I got a little, and I'm not supposed to say that, I guess, and I'll get criticized for saying this.
Why not?
But I felt a little, I was standing with a bunch of 1,000 people, and I saw you jumping up and down, and I kind of got, this is what is great about what we do.
It's what it's all about. It's what makes sports so special. And and the game's so special. And to be able to get a chance is to be world champs and going out and making it happen. That's what it's all about. That's why there's nothing else like sport. There's nothing else, because you can't predict what's going to happen. And when it finally does happen, it's the best.
You know, I'll let you go here in just a second, but when you're standing here and your wife's tearing up and you're the Super Bowl champion and the nation loves you and wanted to see you win and you went out and won it, what possibly in life could you really want? I mean, how blessed could one person be?
It's unbelievable. And that's why I got to pinch myself. You know, it's amazing the way that the whole thing, and it makes it all worthwhile. I guess all those hard times and the rough times that I went through, you know, and you know, life isn't always fair, but it sure has been for me, and I'm really, you know, I can't thank God enough for the opportunity.
Last one, you're talking to tons of people live right now back in Denver who obviously are all watching this and excited, and they're hanging on every word. Is there anything you want to say to people who not only have followed you and Janet for 15 years, but have lived and died, some of them, like you said, 30, 35, 37 years, and wondered if this would ever happen? And you brought it home before you
We finally did it, and this is what's great. It's for everybody back there in Denver, and not just Denver, but Colorado, everywhere, the Rocky Mountain states. And I tell you what, we'll probably have a little party tonight, but I cannot wait to get back and see everybody back in Colorado.
Okay, let me just sneak one more, and I want to do this. I want to ask Janet instead of you. John said to me about a month ago, we were doing one of those Sunday night shows, and I hate asking about retirement because everybody asks him about it, and he always says the same thing. But he did say to me at one point, I can't remember the question, but he said, you know, Ron, I hope that we win out there in January, and it'll make my decision real easy. Was he giving us a little insight there?
We haven't even had a chance to talk about it. You know, the way I look at it is whatever happens, it's a bonus. I mean, he did this, it's done, and from here on out, I mean, if he gets to go play for a couple more years, it's just a bonus and it'll be awesome. And if he decides to quit, what a way to quit.
Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, my legs are really tired. I got to go shower.
Hey,
and if you're going to ask me now, my legs won't make it out.
I just want to, I can speak for the whole Rocky Mountain area. Everybody's so thrilled and so proud of you and so happy for you, and wish you all the best. And if that was the end, it was one heck of a way to put a capper on it.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been I've really enjoyed it, and you know, we're going to sit down and talk about it, but you know, this is a special time, and the Avalanche brought back the Stanley Cup a couple years ago.
It's a little different.
Yeah, so we've been around a little longer,
but
it was still neat. But we were able to get at least a second World Championship back to Denver.
Thanks for all the thrills, all the cooperation, and all the good times. And I'm very, very happy for the both of you tonight.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Okay, John. Thanks, Janet. John and Janet Elway, who I hope captured a little bit of how they feel here in San Diego as they bring home a World's Championship for the Denver Broncos. So, Kim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ron. Boy, two of the happiest people in San Diego, and certainly their 4 children.
Prayer, let's go out and show everybody what kind of football team we are. And I think that what it did is it translated into confidence for his ball club. I know that for me, as I heard it, I thought, my goodness, they know that they're ready to play.
Well, and they showed it with power football, didn't they?
Well, I think that the NFC for so long has done it. They have run the football to set up the play action pass, and I think the big question going into this game, would Terrell Davis be able to do to the Green Bay Packers what he had done to other football teams? And my feeling was that he would. He and that offensive line are a dominant force for this ball club.
It's fitting that it happened in an AFC city and in the home of maybe the best zoo, one of the best zoos in all the world. We don't mean to be trite, because the weight of the monkey and the gorilla that the Broncos and John Elway.
The thing that the Green Bay Packers prided themselves in all year long, the Denver Broncos did to them. A commitment to the run, pressure on defense, getting field position out of the special teams. The one thing I saw tonight was that the Green Bay Packers allowed themselves to be a little bit scary. Now, I'm not talking about emotionally scary, but because the fact that the Denver Broncos were there, I might as well get it in, the blueprint for beating the Green Bay Packers. Joe, take it from there.
You and that blueprint.
I love it.
The price of that blueprint just
it's
went
going
up an awful lot.
$3 million
I
now.
think for next year, that's what it's going to be. I had to be impressed in this football game. And yep, John Elway did a terrific job of running the football game. Terrell Davis did a terrific job of running the football. But the one side of the ball that I felt like controlled this game was Greg Robinson and his defense. Brett Favre carries a big stick. He's got a great gun. He's got a great offense that he runs. But yet Greg Robinson refused to back off as this game went on. The closer the game stayed, the more heat he put on Brett Favre. I think that Greg Robinson's game plan was as big a part for the Denver Broncos as anything in this football game. And also, you can't say enough about that offensive line of the Denver Broncos. They're not big. Some people think they're not necessarily that quick, not necessarily that strong, but you better get some pretty big rings that say world champions, because all of them are going to be wearing them.
I agree, Joe. I'd like to make special mention of that offensive line, too, because during the week, the NFL said, you guys got to talk to the media. They didn't want to. Well, they talked the talk. Yep. Sunday, they walked the walk. We do say goodbye. For Sterling and Joe, it's always a pleasure to be around these guys. Say goodnight, man. I'd like to thank you for our entire stay here in San Diego. Number 7 is number 1. Good night.